A lot of people think Rachel and Stephen met at Ashurst in 2017, but that's actually not the case. It wasn't until 2017 that Rachel and Stephen would finally speak to each other, but they had actually crossed paths with each other long before that. In 2013, Rachel rocked up to a Monash Association of Debaters, or MAD, meeting for the year, and heard Stephen make a speech about the club. Later in 2013, they crossed paths again. Stephen adjudicated a round of school debating in Berwick. Rachel adjudicated that round too, but she arrived early. By the time Stephen arrived, he'd missed Rachel. Even though they'd never officially met, it seemed fated that Stephen and Rachel would continue to cross paths, as though there was some invisible string tying them together.
In August 2017, Rachel went to a recruitment event at Ashurst. This time, Rachel and Stephen would lock eyes across the room, introduce themselves and share their first laugh. Stephen gave Rachel his business card. Rachel, being diligent, had the rule that she would contact anyone who had given her a business card. And so she followed Stephen up with an email asking for a coffee. The invisible string only had to stretch across the pedestrian lights of William and Burke Streets. But the invisible string had other plans. A month later, Stephen walked onto platform 4 at Flagstaff Station and saw Rachel, waiting for her train. They chatted until the Glen Waverley train arrived. When the train arrived, Rachel suggested they sit in different carriages for the ride home. But Stephen thought that was weird. So instead, they sat together and talked the whole ride home.
Not done with its work, the invisible string caused them to take 3 more train rides together. It wasn't until the final train ride, when a bleary-eyed Stephen ran into a slightly hungover Rachel on the early City Loop train at Richmond, that Stephen realised they would be perfect for each other. It was Stephen's courage that caused them to go for a drink. It was Rachel's diligence that caused them to have their first coffee. And so they went for a drink, and that night, on the escalators of Flagstaff Station, the invisible string finally tied them together with a kiss.
Rachel, I remember the first time you told me about Stephen. And I could hear the excitement in your voice. It was like something clicked. And I think we all know that feeling when you meet someone and think this could be the start of something real.
After Rachel and Stephen's first date, Stephen didn't text her. Ooh. A week later, Rachel texted him, "Are you dead?" And this finally prompted a response. But Rachel's exams were looming, so they didn't go on their second date for a few weeks.
November of 2017, having received a brief, he's learned from his mistakes and has never waited a week before texting Rachel again. In 2019, Rachel and Stephen took their first trip together to Coachella to see Ariana Grande headline. Second favourite place is Disneyland. For Rachel, learning that she could travel with Stephen sealed the deal. And for Stephen, he knew he had found a partner for his wild ideas and crazy schemes.
In 2023, Stephen and Rachel went to Rachel's favourite place, Disney World. On day 1 at the Magic Kingdom, Stephen got down on one knee and proposed.
It was a beautiful moment. Stephen the prince, Rachel the princess. It's a love story, baby. She just said yes.
I love how you're not afraid to show when you don't know something. Like when we were watching West Side Story and you leaned over and said, "Oh, this is just like Romeo and Juliet." I love that you inspire me to try new things and reach for the things that I want.
You are beautiful. You are the most beautiful person I've ever seen. Your impeccable taste in your most amazing wedding dress I've ever seen. The most amazing headpiece, the most amazing team of people who have been behind you to support you every step of the way. I'll tell you what else there is. Your mind. You have an incredibly formidable brain, and you use it to both indulge me in my wildest ideas and also to challenge me every single day.
As parents of the bride, this is just one of the times in your life that you just dream about, and experiencing it is just so fantastic. And I know Yvette, Gail and Roberts feel the same. Stephen, you're a very lucky man. Rachel, you've made an excellent choice of someone to share the rest of your life with.
To the man who makes all my dreams come true. You have this amazing trait. It's called the "nothing is impossible" gene. I've never met anyone before who thinks that with enough time and effort and lateral thinking that you can make anything possible. But you do. It would be easy to say how smart and funny you are, but I love you for so much more than that. I love that we are always thinking the same thing. I love that you always get the lyrics wrong. I'll never forget you thinking the lyrics to Sweet Caroline were, "I'm feeling fine."
Sweet Caroline, good time never seems so good.
In Paul's letter to the Corinthians, he says that love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, it does not boast, it does not dishonor others, and it is not self-seeking, etc., etc. You know the rest. Well, Paul, I don't agree. Rachel, my love for you isn't patient or docile. It is headstrong and single-minded. When I look at you, I don't want to be patient. I don't want to wait in line. I want to love you right now. My love for you is driven and it is single-minded. And well, I've brought 100 or so of our closest friends together so that we can boast about it. I personally prefer the philosopher Nora Ephron, where she wrote for a speech that was also delivered on New Year's Eve. I came here because when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. I vow to keep being your strongest ally, your best friend, and half of the core Rachel Stephen team. That's what we are, and that's what I want to be here with all of our closest friends to celebrate. And I'd really like to get married to you now.
I promise to always be funnier than you. I promise to let things go a little bit easier each time. I promise to be your joist, which Google tells me is a foundational support beam. I promise to love you forever, as much as all the galaxies combined, no matter how far, far away.
I love Stephen like a brother, and it's truly wonderful to see a faux sister-in-law that makes him as happy as Rachel makes Stephen.
Don't read the last page, but I stay when it's hard or it's wrong or we're making mistakes. I want your midnights but I'll be cleaning up bottles with you on New Year's Day. Please tie your knot with a kiss.